when it comes to the word purpose, a lot of us are intimidated or we're embarrassed to use it. And it's probably because we downplay ourselves quite a bit. We're our own biggest critic and we probably give these words way too much power. It's like the word success, destiny, fulfillment. We put them under this umbrella and then we give it way too much meaning and it becomes heavier than it has to be. And so we start whispering the word purpose, success, and all that, like there's some sort of spell from the dark arts. And then we're too embarrassed to say it out loud in case somebody around us, some peanut, rolls their eyes and tries to mock us. But it's a strange thing. But let's just say that you managed to get past the intimidation, the embarrassment, and you decided to have a crack at this purpose thing, and just to see where it went. There seem to be two popular versions of how people live this out. The first one is from the idealist, and the second one is the mercenary. Now, the idealist tells you to follow your passions, don't worry about anything else. As long as the work is meaningful and it gives you insight and clarity, then that's all that matters, which is lovely. And I'm behind that for sure. There's some real truth to that. Unfortunately, though, you you keep everything intact, but you'll still probably end up broke. And whilst money isn't everything, it is a good thing to have. And so a lot of times, people who follow this idealist route, they end up making their lives harder than it has to be. And so what ends up happening is they compromise it, and they end up at square one, only this time with less leverage and more bitterness. On the other side of that is the mercenary approach. And the mercenary tells you to achieve and chase your goals, achieve them by any means necessary, throw people under the bus, compromise your morals, integrity, and all that stuff. And 9 out of 10 times, at least the people I've met who follow this route, they end up real miserable, like real miserable pricks, hard to be around, shit energy. And so you've gone from intimidation and embarrassment to either being a hippie or a prick, you know what I mean? So it doesn't seem very good. I was reading an article the other day by a guy called John Coles, and I love the way he framed purpose. And I'll try and summarize it so it makes a bit of sense. Basically, he said that purpose isn't something that you stumble across, it's not something you discover, it's something that you engineer with intent. And the idea is to build a foundation for your purpose based on whatever aligns with you, whether it's your passions, your morals, your principles, whatever it is. And then you start applying practical measures to move the needle both internally and externally. And I love this idea. I love this reframing of the word purpose. It eliminates, it gives you this really good balance of approach. Now, because how would you say this? Purpose without practicality just ends up being an expression, right? And you still end up broke. And then practicality without purpose, is probably how you end up working a job you hate for 40 years, and dying alone. Like, hey, but this hybrid approach is one that really, really suits me. If you're an idealist and you want to pursue that route, who am I to tell you what to do? Um, you do you. And if you're a mercenary and you're happy to just achieve your goals and accumulate whatever you want by any means necessary, hey, go for it. Me personally, and I think a lot of people would probably find this hybrid approach more ideal. It gives you that nice balance between living a life of fulfillment, but also achieving material goals. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm not saying that this is the pathway to success, abundance, and wealth. I'm not saying that. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. But I do know that it's this is more sustainable and it's more realistic, especially for myself. Um, I like I like philosophy as much as the next guy. I also like nice things. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that you should be able to have your cake and eat it, but there's definitely a better approach than either having to be a hippie or a prick. So yeah, that is my take on purpose, as well as success and all those other words that we're too scared or embarrassed to use. Don't be intimidated. Don't be ashamed to use these words. They're not things that you have to earn to use. You don't need anyone's permission. I know I'm saying this now like like I'm Captain Confidence and Mr. Life Guru, but you don't. You know what I mean? Mortality is a real thing. We are all going to die one day. And I say this, and I am scared shitless of death. And I say this as if I've believed this my whole life, but I didn't understand the concept of that until I hit my 40s. And then you realize that, oh, one life, that is a real thing. Stop waiting for permission and all that carry on. Okay, this is turning into a TED talk. I don't want to do that. But yeah, purpose. That's my take. That's the yarn. Thanks.